Welcome to TradeTheMBI.com. This is Jonas Reporters for the 21st of October. We continue to move further upward here. We got that MBI magenta still riding above 33, shorts pretty much non-existent down at the one level. Cyan has been under red since we started the move back above the ABM yellow. All pretty clean action. The only thing we had was that moderate in-between fill from the positive extreme that took place, but that was more healthy than not. We're getting closer to the election, and as that grows near, you're seeing sides taken directly as to which asset areas are likely to benefit based on where things are at currently. But of course, it's late October, so there's always an October surprise heading for the beginning of towards the end of the month. Always usually happens. So it's going to be exciting from a treasury standpoint. Not a whole lot happening here. Again, that yield has had to go up, and it's a battle that the Fed's going to do. And while the economy, it's difficult to get a gauge on things simply because the numbers that we get continue to be so distorted. It's amazing what we're seeing from a lack of credibility from government statistics. Even from the FBI, going back and redoing their crime stats and everything. Nothing's reliable from that standpoint. So it's all headlines, and that's the way things are driven. From an oil standpoint, easing back off quite a bit here. And it's interesting because that really becomes a question of how much growth is there and whether or not you're going to have any surprises. We still haven't seen anything from the Israel-Iran thing, and they may be pushing to have that hold off until after the election, very likely possible. And then the Russian front too, there's escalation, but it's still being contained. So as far as that goes, everyone can ignore it for now and wait until after the election before they have to deal with the real problems. The euro, of course, it's an interesting one. I mean, the Eurozone used to be at parity from a growth standpoint with the U.S., with its combined countries, but their output is half of what the U.S. is, and yet they still trade over parity for no good reason. And it's an interesting support mechanism simply because most of the Eurozone banks in that are just, they're worse than the U.S. Setup at this particular stage. So who knows how that's going to end up being held together and how long they can do it. But as we've noted, with the Fed, there's just unlimited power to keep printing money. And because of that, look at this is gold, and this is so well within the projections, and definitely we're going to clear the 3,000 mark for gold. There's just no way around it as long as the deficits keep running what they are. And compare that even also with crypto. It's also going to continue to do the same thing, and you can see Bitcoin pushing back up towards its highs as well. No surprise to anyone. I mean, well, maybe to some people who thought that this was all going to fade away and everything was going to be rosy, but the reality is what it is, and it has nothing to do with what the market trades at. From a 50K standpoint, we were pretty benign, but still holding above that 50%. And again, you had this situation with the rising MBI white. And as long as it was holding with magenta over, you had that push where shorts drive price higher. Still was leading here going into the end, and now you start to have a breakdown. And so typically that would be best to move to 50%. If it doesn't get all the way down to the 50%, then, well, you're going to look at another run to the upside for things. When we look at it intraday, started off pretty weak, just kills a lot of the call option, and then as puts start to jump in, boom, drive it back up. And we can see here in the post-market European session right now, fairly weak. So all in all, it's good stuff. We're going to just keep following it. Anything special that happens, certainly put it on the Skype chat. But overall, it's all clean. Have a good one. Trade well.